Hello, everybody. It's your girl, DAZZLE, and I'm back for another conversation, a little bit of reaction, and maybe a little tarot. I mean, I don't know. It depends on how I feel. Man, look, the past couple of weeks have been hell week, okay, for me. All right, I cannot deny. But however, we're going to keep pushing through because we have to. And, that's a conversation that I have to have on the late night tip with y'all because it's for real. But I would like to say this, though. I adopted a baby. His name is Lex Luthor. Okay, he's an English bulldog. And he's 8 months. And he don't even know what to do with himself. He don't know what he want to do with himself. He's so hyper. He's calmed down right now. Right now he's laying on the kitchen floor. Okay. And then Bobby, my cat, she's upstairs. She don't want to come downstairs. I mean, I let them meet, but however, they were, having direct eye contact, like having a stare down. And they, touch noses. And then it was going to be cool. But Mr. Lex Luthor flinched. And Bobby was like, oh, hell no, I'm not dealing with that man. And she ran upstairs. So now she looks down at him in disgust. Like, Mommy, why he here? Why he here, Mommy? Why he here? But anyway. Here's what we're going to be talking about. So, I have been patiently waiting to talk about this topic. And before I decided to talk about it, I made sure that I listened to all sides, all opinions, the different dialogues that was happening. Just some channels that I listened to. I listened to Funky Dineva and his dialogue that he had on his channel, and also when he showed the dialogue that was the conversation that him and Claudia Jordan was having. I listened to Conscious TV's dialogue, and he had hours of conversation with him and his audience. I listened to Armand Wiggins and his dialogue with his audience. I even watched the whole thing where, C.S. Madison, Just Hilarious, even Tasha K, they were going back and forth. And I just needed to listen to everything. And I even listened to Jaguar Evermore's opinions and who else? Storm. What is it? I said Storm Monroe. What is this guy? That Flame Monroe. His opinion. I mean, well, her opinions, his opinions. He's trans too. But basically, what I kind of got from this, and before I even get to my thought, let me go ahead and share with you guys what sparked the conversation. Okay. So the conversation was sparked because a trans woman said that biological women do not own periods or womanhood. Okay, so let's see what it says.
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods, you don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person, but as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello? This is what
Okay, so let's just put the cheese on the cracker, okay? And break down the word trans. Trans is the transition. So you transition from one way of being to another. Okay? That's what it is. Either mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever. You're transitioning. And then let's talk about woman. Woman is a term, and I'm going to make sure y'all know this, because if you look up the definition of a woman, definition of woman. Um, it is basically a noun, and it says an adult female human being. Okay. Does so adult female human being, of course, that's the lazy term for it. Does womb does the let's get into it. Woman similarly is from the Old English word of wife man, which, as you hear, is also related to man. But because of significant influence of Christianity, and particularly the King James Version of the Bible, on the English language and American culture, many mistakenly believe that the woo, and let me keep reading, many mistakenly believe that the womb and woman is a prefix, meaning out of. In the Hebrew Bible's books of Genesis, excuse me, y'all. In the Hebrew Bible's book of Genesis, the Hebrew term for man is Ish and woman is Isha, because Eve was taken out of the man's side. This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. Okay. She was taken out of the womb, basically, of a man. Whatever. So even where there is no etymological reference to woman's dependence, there is often a conceptual or theological one. There are, however, some words like girl that bear no etymological or conceptual relationship to men. But even here, things are complicated between the 13th and 16th centuries. The word girl could be applied to either gender, any young person who could be called a girl. In order to avoid confusion, people would sometimes attach descriptive adjectives to the word girl. So a young boy would be called a knave girl, and a young girl would be called gay girl. That's funny. Okay. It is always hard to judge to what degree language merely reflects a culture's assumptions about gender and to what degree it actively shapes them. At the very least, these aspects of the English language appear to reflect a long history of belief that women are both dependent on and inferior to men. For example, Aristotle defines woman as a male deformed. And 15 centuries later, the medieval philosopher Thomas Aquinas is still committed to that view. I mean, this is the same people who, diagnose females with hysteria if, you talk back to your husband. She's hysterical. And, the only way to relieve hysteria was to make the female have an orgasm. So, and things like that. Or to put high pressure water, like a high pressure water hose and spray her womb with it. Just spray her down, like some type of bitchin' heat. Excuse my language. But yeah, I'm reading this. And I'm reading this because woman, the term woman is basically the meaning as well for a female adult human being. So I don't even know if I want to be called woman anymore, because at this point we've been coined that because of the masculine hierarchy or whatever, the men who were in charge, right? The same men who said that we had hysteria and our wombs are not our own and everything else like that. We should be submissive. These are the same people who started calling us wife men and woman, things like that. Even the church, at some point the church called it woman because of everything, because of biblical reasons. But however, these are the same people who will feel like you are a witch back in those days when you knew how to practice herbal medicines, or if you were too smart, if you read too much, so you were deemed a witch, and then you would then be hanged and all types of crazy stuff and set on fire. So basically, all those terms are to demean women, okay? To me, if you ask me. Okay, so when the translator said that we don't own periods, let's start there as well. Let's talk about it, right? So a woman, even though I don't really like that term anymore based on, investigation, what the man gave us that term, woman, we are born with a set of chromosomes. The set of chromosomes tell our body to create a uterus, to make a cavity in our body to create new life, to reproduce. Every 28 days, or maybe less, maybe some for people, who knows, it varies depending on how the hormones are, what's going on with your body. If you do not fertilize an egg every 28 days or so or less, the lining in your uterus that was engorged with blood and everything, getting ready to hopefully have a fertilized egg, says, wow, there is no egg. So we need to shed the lining, shed all that. So that's what's going on. It's the blood that comes from that. Okay? So that's what happens to a quote unquote woman, aka a female. Well, then again, it's still male. See, you see how we don't even own our own term. It's been given to us by some dusty, rusty man. Okay? So that's what's happening with us. Okay? With a male, they have a different set of chromosomes that tells the body to produce a penis and to have testicles. And I'm pretty sure that, I forgot, the sperm is produced in the testicles. Okay? And so it's going to produce the sperm because the idea is of reproduction. So when you're going to find this woman in heat, because, hey, they already naming us like female dogs, whatever. So when you're going to find this woman who is ovulating, you're going to have this man, and I don't know, but I heard somewhere that we let off hormones. This man knows when this woman is ovulating, or he may not know. They come together, the penis enters the vagina, and it goes in and out, and the vagina is naturally wet to allow the penis to be inserted in and out. Okay? And what's going to happen is, if you beat a pinata enough, you're going to get some candy. Why am I having a sex ed class? I'm having it to let y'all know that, look, when the candy come out, the candy is going to come. And then, people used to think, the survival of the fittest when it comes to sperm cells. No, the egg is actually, it allows a certain sperm to attach and enter. It's not just whoever got there first. It's the one that the egg likes, whatever. And then boom, impregnation, and normally no more period. Sometimes people still shed a little, and that depends body to body. But when we say you don't own a period, that was you're trying to tell me that I don't have a uterus. And that's something that everyone can do with or without a uterus. Now, if a penis is bleeding, then you guys have an issue. And you have to go to a doctor and figure that out. You should not be having blood coming out of your penis every 28 days. That's not healthy. So when this trans woman tried to say we don't own periods, it doesn't make sense. It's stupid, right? Unless you have a uterus, Now, don't get me wrong. When people go through surgery, the SRS, sexual reassignment surgery, what they do is they fillet your penis and they create a pseudo opening, a pseudo vagina. Now, you know what pseudo means. Pseudo is false, right? A false vagina. So they fillet the penis or whatever like that, and they put it inward. They make this slit, and they make it a certain type of depth, right? So first of all, it's not supposed to be there. So your body is constantly trying to close it back up. So they use these metal dildos. I'll just say that. They'll use those metal dildos that they call dilators. And they have to keep putting it in there, right? To keep it dilated because the body is rejecting it because it's not supposed to happen. So if you don't keep your pseudo vagina dilated, it will collapse. Not only that, it's not supposed to naturally be wet. So, because it's a pseudo vagina. So, you would have to use like lubricants and things like that. And I'm pretty sure the first couple of dilations are very painful. And sometimes people, they get the SRS. The issue is it collapses sometimes. So you can only get about 3 inches in. And some people highly regret a lot of it because it's not what they thought it would be, because it's not a vagina. It's a pseudo vagina. And you guys don't have a uterus. But however, if you do bleed out the pseudo vagina, it's because there must be a tear or something like that in there. And that is medical. You can die, right? That's something that you need to get fixed. That's not because you have a uterus. So if you would call that menstruation, that's not menstruation. You have a surgical opening that's not supposed to be there that's bleeding. Okay, so when she says that we don't own periods, that is a lie. Now, womanhood, actually, after reading what I was just reading earlier, you know what? F it. We don't own it. We don't even own our own bodies. We can't even live in peace, okay? We can't go around and, have a choice on if I want to have a baby or not. Do you know, like, some people, like, even it's either we can't say no, we can't say yes to an abortion, and we can't say no to an abortion. If you go to China and stuff like that, they got laws that you can only have a certain amount of kids. So that means you're governing my body. You can go to like Arabia, I don't know, somewhere down in Saudi Arabia, somewhere down in some type of village. I got to have a kid by this man that probably beats my ass if I forget to wear my hijab or whatever, or I might get stoned to death for it. Even in America, it wasn't that long ago that I told y'all, like, people literally said that we had hysteria. Have y'all ever read The Yellow Wallpaper? That bitch was literally in a... They said she was crazy because she had the nerve to be her. I mean, and freedom of speech, freedom of thought. She got the nerve, right? And it's not like she out here doing anything wild. Oh, she must be hysterical. Oh, you need to take her somewhere so she can be at peace. And don't let her do too much. Keep her in the room. Make her lay down and da 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 da. And you drove that girl crazy with that yellow wallpaper. She was in that room going crazy. Her husband was making her go crazy. All because she got the nerve to think how she wanted to think. The nerve. Or, you might have to go to the doctors back there. It was a lot, right? You might have to go to the doctors back there, right? Because you want sex more than your partner wants it. So you're hysterical. And the doctors have to put their fingers in you and masturbate you until you release and you will no longer be hysterical. So that is rape. That is rape. And don't you think for 1 second them doctors wasn't getting off. And then let's talk about being a black woman in a certain time in America. Do you know most of the reasons why they have in America and probably Europe too, I wouldn't put it past them, that they have all these great medical procedures for OBGYN and women because they experiment on black women with it before they used it on a white woman. So, yeah, they were torturing our reproductive organs. Yes, they were, So our bodies and our womanhood was never our own. We couldn't own it because some dirty ass trifling man, ever. Okay, so you gotta get what I'm saying here. So with this woman, this trans woman, I don't know why she wanted to have this conversation. Now, to me, I feel like she felt invalidated before by a woman. And because she feels invalidated, now it's everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I also don't like the term cis. Again, it's another term that a man, some dirty, dusty man, wants to put on us. Okay? Y'all not going to like that, but that's what it is. Some dirty, dusty man then put that in the air, and that was up and it's stuck. Okay? And certain people in our female community backdoored us. You know what I'm saying? So now we got to be called cis women. I'm not no cis woman. I'm a fucking woman. It's bad enough y'all call me a woman coming from a man or a wife man, because I got to be somebody's wife. I'm a man's wife. I am married, so I guess you can call me wife man. Oh, that's crazy though, and then this is another sidebar. Isn't it funny how like in like last name like Jackson, like when we look at like terms like Jackson, like last name, like when it comes from, or Smithson, or Jameson, is really the son of James, the son of Jack, the son of Smith, or Williamson, the son of William. So it's funny how your last name is, right? So when it comes to wife man or woman, it's really man's womb or man's wife, right? This is all the terms that they gave us, right? A female, like male, feminine, male. I mean, shoot. So it's just funny to me. I don't know. Like, we can go on and on about whatever, because terms and everything else like that, but I'm not a cis. Don't call me cis at all. To be honest with you, I find it messed up that the only reason why the term cis was ever being used was because they wanted it feels like you wanted to make trans women feel validated, because you have to call them women, but you have to separate So in order to make them feel validated and to make them feel like a woman, hey, this actual woman, we need to put sis in front of her name. That's how I kind of feel with that. Because no woman asked to be called sis. They may agree to it, but nobody asked for that. Nobody picketed outside and said, I want to be called sis. Like, for years. I mean, did you ever see during the women's suffrage march and, pro-woman, pro-feminist people back in the day, did they picket to be called sis? I thought they wanted equal rights. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I feel like I have a right to be called what I want to be called. So if I don't want to be called sis, don't call me sis. Just like trans women have a right to be called whatever they want to be called. Okay? And I also feel like for someone who fights for their rights to be called what they want to be called, how can you make someone call themselves what they want to be called, what they don't want to be called? You're taking my rights. So I don't know. Again, what's the point? I feel like it all comes down to respect, because if I respect you, I don't do you dirty, I'm not mean, I come from a place of love, then I should be able to receive that back. And that's it. If I see you appear as a woman, hey girl, hey. If I see you appear as a man, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? Whatever. And I go about my business and I mind my business. But it just seems like it's not enough. Like, it's not enough. Right? I kind of felt some type of way where when we couldn't have the female symbol, the Venus symbol, on our period pads anymore. Why the freak can't we have a female symbol on our period pads? So then the argument was not, oh, well, it's not just women who have periods. What about trans men? Well, if they're still having a period, that means they didn't get rid of their uterus, which makes them a woman. Physically. No matter how y'all look at it physically, if they didn't have, what is it, a hysterectomy? If they didn't have that, and they still have a uterus that bleeds, they are a woman dressed as a man. Period. So why can't we have the feminine sign on there? Why can't we have that? Oh, well, because it's embarrassing when they try to get their stuff. They don't want people to know that, they don't want nobody to clock their teeth. What? You know how many times my husband then went and got pads for me? I'm pretty sure no one thought that he was a woman. I mean, but it's just crazy. It seems like they want to take everything. Like, and mind you, I mean, and even with sports, I feel, and then I also feel like in female, like kickboxing and boxing and things like that, like, I don't feel like certain trans people should be in that category. I feel like they should be in their own category. Like, they should have trans boxing and trans kickboxing, right? Because you can't tell me that trans woman didn't lower the doses of estrogen just to beat the hell out of that girl. And I feel like it's abuse. I don't care. I don't know. Maybe I am tripping. But I feel like when I look at it, I don't look at it as a female fighting a female. I look at it as a man fighting a female. When you see it in that ring, I don't care what you say. And I've seen these women get their ass beat by these trans women. Okay? And I don't feel like that's the space for them to be in. When it comes to bathrooms, I don't give a damn who in the goddamn bathroom. I gotta pee. Okay? Now, that's me personally, right? But when it comes to children, now I'm gonna give you some tea. I don't feel like children should be in adult bathrooms at all. I feel like when you take your children to bathrooms, it should be a children's bathroom as well. So I think it should be a man, woman, children's bathroom. Okay? Because I don't trust man, woman, billy goat, nothing around these kids. Okay? And they should have a security officer in front of each children's bathroom, okay? Each kid's bathroom. I don't care what no one says. Maybe I'm being a little bit too whatever, but I feel like that should happen. Okay? Period. Okay. So I really don't care about trans people going in the bathrooms, but what I do also understand is that you have people who would appear like they're trans just to come in and do some peeping Tom stuff and be nasty. But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't like that either. I don't trust nobody. All right. So that's neither here or there. But, in theory, I don't feel like it's a problem with letting a trans woman who post op, whatever. I don't know what you got down there. If you sit down on the toilet and pee, you know what I'm saying? Hey, go. I mean, I don't give a damn. As long as I get to pee and mind my business. And as long as you ain't pissing on no floor and I gotta walk in it or something, I'm all right. I mean, shit. That's none of my business. What else? I don't know. To me, I just feel like this is a divisive conversation. Like, at the end of the day, you came from a woman. You ain't got no uterus. What is the issue? But you are still a trans woman. You're transitioning into a man's womb. I guess that's what the hell woman means, man's womb. Or you're transitioning to wife man, transitioning to a man's wife. I mean, that's what it says. That's the terms. I mean, shoot. So to me, I kind of just, But I do want to add too. I mean, I don't have no real objective I don't really hold nothing against trans people. I really just want people to just live their life. I mean, what is the purpose? The only reason why we here is to have an experience, and if this is your experience and your walk, you got to take it. But not everybody has their own individual walk. Okay, you'll never know what my walk is as a woman because you've never been a woman, and I won't know what your walk is as a trans person because I've never been trans. So whatever you own, and whatever I own. So if you own the trans experience, you guys are gatekeepers for that. I have a uterus. I am part of that uterus crew. Now, that's what I wanted to add. No, this is a slap in the face to women. Okay, all over. So they're trying to make it that a trans woman can have babies, and they're trying to, and they said they were successful before, giving them a uterus, right? A pseudo uterus, right? And get them pregnant and stuff like that. Well, I don't understand this. Why are you in a rush to make it so that a trans woman can get pregnant or to have a uterus? But you have women with PCOS, women who have to have a hysterectomy and things like that. Or it's too much scar tissue or whatever the case may be. Women who cannot have kids because of their uterus or their fallopian tubes. Why is it that you're using all this breakthrough technology for this trans woman and you can be using that same technology for this woman who is naturally born, who actually has a body cavity that actually is for that? Why can't you fix that situation first? Because it's a high chance of death when it comes to the trans woman getting that type of implant because the body will reject it. But don't get me wrong, just like a liver implant, the body might reject it with a female. However, because it's something that's normal and it's supposed to be there, it's a better chance that it won't reject it. Like, you see what I'm saying? So I feel like men are doing women a disservice again. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It feels like we've just been so long enslaved by men. Men. Experimented on by men. You know, even to the point where it's like, I don't even know what to say no more. I feel like us as women need our own army. We need our own government. Like, for real, we need to separate. Like, I'm starting to think that way, but then it's like, it's so many women who's been indoctrinated into certain ways of thinking and everything. Like, they really effed us over. But if we could come together, my whole thing was, I feel like we should make a United States of women. Okay, we should be annexed from the United States and make our own freaking country somewhere. Every single woman in the world should just rise up, honestly. Honestly. Because men, I don't know, men is just controlling. They want so much. They want to finger fuck everything. I mean, but again, I do feel like this whole situation should be a conversation that ends with love, respect, and understanding. I don't like divisiveness. And I feel like it defeats the purpose of being divisive. I mean, being divisive defeats the purpose of trying to get ahead and trying to be accepted. And quiet as it's kept, y'all are accepted. Gay people are accepted. Trans people are accepted. You know, whatever the case may be, y'all are accepted, okay? For the most part. But it's just certain things that, you know, people want to do. Like, I don't believe in having drag shows at kindergarten schools. Why? I know what drag shows look like. I know how certain people get down with their drag, you know. So why would I want a 4-year-old to have a drag show at her school? I mean, it's on and on. I feel like drag shows are for adults, you know. Those that know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like, while we're at it, I don't feel like we should be, first of all, teach your kids about sex when it's time. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old don't need no shit but ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Okay? Fuck all that. And don't call my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old transgender, okay? Period. Allow them to come to that conclusion. If they was born that way, y'all say we are born straight or we're born gay. Well, guess what? If they're born that way, they're going to be that way without me having to say anything, okay? But I will allow them to be open and talk to me whenever they want to, okay? So that's how I kind of feel about that. I would have did a reading on it, but I don't even feel like reading today. I just ranted for almost 40 minutes. So y'all tell me how y'all feel about this subject. I really wanted to talk about it, but I know I was ranting and I was going whatever. But look, love y'all. So like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. Peace.